We all know the feeling. You pour your energy into pushing a goal uphill, grinding away day after day, hoping that sheer force will eventually get you to the top. You see this constantly in how people approach their careers and relationships. They stack achievement on top of achievement, building at breakneck speed. But the higher they build, the more the entire structure shakes. The success is there, but it is completely fragile. This is a state of compensatory living. When there is a deep internal instability, the psychological reflex is to try and patch it with massive external action. We work harder, we stretch further, and demand more of ourselves to cover the cracks beneath the surface. The problem is that a system can only produce what it can physically support. Asking it to hold weight beyond its capacity creates immense strain. Eventually, the exhaustion catches up, the old patterns repeat, and the entire structure collapses. All the effort in the world cannot fix a weak foundation. You cannot force a fragmented system to sustain a heavy load over time. To stop this cycle, we have to look past the external outcomes we are chasing and examine the invisible foundation we are actually operating from. Take a look at this base structure supporting the moving nodes above it. It represents your internal platform. When fragmented, your daily experience is reactive and chaotic. But when these pieces lock into a coherent whole, you stop fighting yourself. That lack of internal friction allows a stable identity to emerge, naturally simplifying the decisions you make and the energy you bring to them. If we want to build a life that actually holds together, we must stop obsessing over what we do and repair the structure we are building from. In both physical engineering and psychological architecture, the exact same rule applies. Your actions do not exist in a vacuum. They emerge directly from your state of being. Notice how the solid foundational block acts as a bottleneck, dictating the maximum capacity your system can sustain. Foundation determines function. If that base is fragmented, the functions resting on it wildly fluctuate and drop. But when stabilized, the output becomes smooth, steady, and reliable. The ceiling of success is set by the weight your internal system is structured to hold. Willpower may provide a momentary peak, but the platform determines the level you can stay at. This structural lens plays out directly in our daily experiences, particularly in our personal relationships. Without an internal platform, people often seek out partners out of fear, need, or for validation. They effectively use other people as emotional patches to cover up their own internal fragmentation. But when you operate from a stable platform, connection looks entirely different. It becomes an exercise in mutual alignment. Two whole, balanced individuals can stand together without desperately leaning on one another to stay upright. In this state, a relationship is a natural extension of your own internal stability. It offers shared growth and clarity, rather than acting as a frantic fix for internal chaos. Our external connections mirror our internal architecture. If the foundation is unstable, the relationship will tilt to compensate for the lean. Viewed through this structural lens, the standard advice to simply work harder falls apart. Blind effort is a deeply flawed strategy. Pushing heavier loads on a broken foundation simply accelerates its destruction. It's the mechanical reality of a system buckling under weight it was never designed to carry. Notice how this central structure scales upward. As the weight increases, the base naturally widens to support it without thinning out. This is sustainable expansion. Growth is supported by existing capacity, rather than strained by a lack of it. When you reach this point, life begins to organize itself. Things fit together. Friction decreases, and the constant back-and-forth confusion stops simply because the ground underneath you is no longer shifting. Because doing naturally emerges from your state of being, expansion stops feeling like exhausting peaks and valleys. It becomes a smooth, ongoing movement. Securing this stable platform introduces a quiet, profound responsibility. You suddenly realize that whatever you choose to build from here is actually going to hold. Now, this realization changes your entire approach. You completely stop making reactive, survival-driven choices, and you begin the process of highly intentional, conscious creation. You start moving forward with grounded clarity. Instead of responding to external pressure, you select your path based entirely on structural alignment. You reach a turning point where you are no longer desperately chasing your life. You are actively constructing it. Sustainable success grows from building on what is structurally sound. You move with power when your actions are anchored in a foundation that is true.